Welcome to the Binge on Self-Love podcast, where we explore what happens when you stop waiting and start living, even though you're scared as hell. I'm your host Anna, and there's absolutely nothing special about me, except that I've decided that I'm done procrastinating, I'm done binge eating, and I'm done hating myself, and I'm ready to start living my life right now. And I'm taking you along for the ride. So if you are ready to do the same, you've tuned into the right podcast. Let's get started. Binge on Self-Love is intended for informational purposes only. It doesn't provide professional medical advice, and it is not a substitute for diagnosis or treatment. Hello. Welcome to the Binge on Self-Love podcast. My name is Anna, and I'm your host. I hope you're having a great week so far. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to take a moment to share something really important. This week is Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Whether you're currently struggling with an eating disorder or disordered eating, or you are in recovery or supporting someone who is, I want you to know you are seen, you are amazing, and you are not alone. I do realize that eating disorders are something we would much rather kept as a secret and hidden from others to see, but that's one more reason why bringing awareness to mental health and struggles we deal with is so important. Many people think that, but eating disorders are not just about food or just about weight. They're much more complex mental health conditions which can affect all areas of people's lives. There's no epitome or prototype of an eating disorder look. You cannot tell if someone is having an eating disorder just by looking at them. It affects people of all sizes and genders. And what is most important is that eating disorder recovery is possible. I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. Recovery is possible. It may not always feel great, it may not be a straightforward path, but it is possible and essential because it's a way to living a happy and healthy life and living a life where you're not controlled by your body image or food or weight or anything like that. So please remember that you deserve to live life which is happy and when you're not controlled by your body image and where you have a healthy relationship with food. Your worth shouldn't be defined by your body or number on a scale, and you most importantly do not need to earn food or earn to eat. So please keep in mind that it's never too late and it's never too soon to ask for help. In the show notes, I will link resources for different organizations which are providing support for people struggling with eating disorders and disordered eating. So please make sure to check it out. And because I want to practice what I preach, I thought I'll share an update on my binge eating disorder recovery journey. I was looking where I shared my last update and I figured it was around June last year. So that's a couple of months. So what has changed since then? I feel like a lot, but not much at the same time. When it comes to binge eating disorder, which is something I've been struggling kind of on and off, I would say it's now 10 years or even more. I'm still not fully binge free, but I'm having periods of more frequent binges, which can last for days. They're not super big, but they are binges. And then I'm having periods when I don't feel the urge to binge at all. So I'm still not where I want to be, which is to be fully recovered. But I know that it's a long process and I also know that I'm working on it. So in the spring of last year, I also started seeing a therapist. I probably shared that in the last update, but my therapist is amazing. I've had one therapist or like a few of them back in the day when my binge eating disorder was at its worst, but I feel like this is the first time we're actually talking about everything, not just about food or binge eating, but about literally everything. My childhood, my relationships, my fears, my marriage, my anxiety, different situations I experienced, etc. And I honestly feel like it's the best decision I could ever make to start seeing a therapist and fortunately enough, I found this amazing therapist. And I think where it makes a lot of difference is that I didn't really understand a lot of things about myself. I didn't understand where certain behavior or habits came from. I didn't understand why I was having certain feelings in certain situations and why they were always coming back. So I think this was one of the best decisions I could make. It's also great to see how the therapy sessions reflect where we are in life and how we're getting through life, because sometimes you focus on one area of or one aspect of your life which doesn't seem to work, or I don't know, you need to improve it or you want to improve it, and then you move to another and then to another, and it's like really interesting to see and understand. And it's not just like, sometimes it feels like we're stuck at one place in one problem that we are dwelling on over and over. But then when you look at things from like a bigger perspective or over a longer period of time, you actually realize like how much progress you were actually able to make. One thing which is completely new is that in January, I started working with a nutritionist, which is something I've never ever done before. And the reason behind it was that, one, my diet got more and more limited over the years, not in a sense of like wanted to restrict myself, but I do not like a lot of food and I do not really enjoy in trying new things when it comes to food, or probably everything else too, but I started to notice that I don't really enjoy the food that I'm eating, and I don't even like want to eat it because I've been eating it for so many years, like an oatmeal every single day for breakfast or eggs for dinner every single day. So I wanted to try something new. And my therapist actually recommended to try nutritional therapy as well, because I've never looked at my binge eating disorder through the lens of nutritional therapy, which is probably something I should have done like early on, but I'm gonna be honest, I've never done it. So I thought this might be a great idea to try because it's something I've never done before. And so far, it's been going really well. So like it's only February, so I do not have much to share other than just that I think it's a great idea to start a nutritional therapy or start meeting with a nutritional therapist if you are struggling with food, whether that's an eating disorder, disordered eating, or you just do not feel comfortable or good in your relationship with food. For example, some of the things that I've learned is that I've been actually eating much less than I should be, although I didn't really feel like I'm not eating enough. But the nutritionist shared advice on how I can fit in more calories, etc. So that's really interesting to learn and to explore this area of my life. One last thing that I wanted to share is that I will probably start going to a group therapy next month, which is again something completely new, something I've never done. And to be honest, I've been a little hesitant just because it's a big commitment. But then I thought my younger self, who was living in this small city with no options and just me sitting in my bedroom, lonely, recording, speaking to the microphone, how grateful I would be for having such an option to meet with a group of women who are going through the same shit like I am, being able to support each other, how amazing it is to even have this option. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm definitely excited about it. Yeah, so it seems I've been investing in my recovery, and I don't mean just financially, but also like time-wise and energy-wise, but I do really want to get better. I want to fully recover and have a healthy relationship with food and with myself. I noticed that I tend to get back to the old unhealthy habits when I'm feeling really stressed or nervous, which have been a lot lately, and I don't want to continue going that route anymore. So I believe that all these steps that I'm taking are going to help me on my recovery journey. So yeah, that's it for today and for this update. And like I've said before, if you are currently struggling with an eating disorder or disordered eating or body image, or you have someone close to you who is struggling and you would love to learn more, feel free to check the resources in the show notes. And don't forget to share this podcast with someone who you think might benefit from it. Thank you so much for listening and talk to you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I would like to ask you for a small favor. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the Binge on Self-Love podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. It's absolutely free and it will help me spread the podcast among more people. Thank you in advance and see you soon.